Welcome to a Tuesday and another edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey with the icon Mike Smith.
So we had a viewer that wants to know why I'm always looking down at the beginning of the show for a few minutes.
Because I can never get his attention.
And I explained it to he on email, but apparently if this is a question for one of our viewers, then there might be others.
Oh, yeah.
We share the show to 2 or 3 other sites, and that's what I'm doing to start out. I'm sharing it to other people so will get the maximum, hopefully the maximum viewership.
Precisely. And if you would like to share us, feel free to do so. Just click the share button, and that will allow you to share the topical information we're sharing every day with you. You can share it to your friends. Right here.
If we were a highfalutin like Columbus, they would have only one camera on Dan while I'm doing that, and then you wouldn't see me doing that.
Yeah.
We hide nothing from our viewers.
That's right.
Full disclosure. Yeah.
We've tried to be that throughout our broadcast careers. Tried not to no smoke and mirrors stuff, you know?
Although you get some viewers smoked up on your YouTube from a couple of years ago that you were just reading. It's amazing what some people get out of a video that others don't. I don't understand.
I don't know that everybody can read some of the comments that are posted. I think as an administrator, I get to see all of these comments, and they're quite entertaining.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, really are.
So, and we hope that you find that this show is entertaining as well. We try our best not only to inform but entertain, but we try to keep it lighthearted and the good stuff that's happening in our community. Not just here locally. When we say locally, we are based in Chillicothe, but we talk about things that are happening all across southern Ohio, as far north as up into Columbus. So we try our best to publicize those things that are going on across the Scioto Valley and beyond.
Yeah.
In that respect. That would include the weather. So what are we looking at today?
A little warmer today. We're expecting a high near 60 with sunshine. Sunny and 74 tomorrow. We continue up the ladder. 80 on Thursday. And then there's a chance of rain for both Friday and Saturday of this week.
Coming your way in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date with news. But first, we want to tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. This is that time of the year. Spring cleaning is underway. Some folks are starting to say, you know what, I got to clean stuff up around my property. Or maybe you're remodeling and you're trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. You need some place to put it. Get a dumpster from Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to call. They'll come, drop this off to you, and then they'll come back when you're done and haul it all away. And then you can just kind of pat your hands and let the dust settle. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. News next.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. We are here.
Where's that producer? We need one.
We forgot to turn the speakers on so we could hear what was going on, and we were trying to, both of us had been up trying to get the speakers working.
Yes.
So what you don't see while the commercials are playing. Thank you to our sponsors, by the way, for making this program happen. Now, news.
Yeah, something that might be of service to those in the agricultural community. Ross County Farm Service Agency office is currently experiencing some staffing challenges and are asking visitors wanting to conduct business to call ahead and schedule an appointment. You can also conduct business with their office virtually through their Box and OneSpan tool. If you go to our website, littermedia.com, you'll get more information on that. You can get registered for Ohio's Hospice of Fayette County's annual Hike for Hospice event. That's coming up Saturday, April the 22nd at 9 a.m. Hikers gather to walk in memory or in honor of a loved one. Hike starts at Grace Community Church, which is on Glen Avenue in Washington Courthouse. You can learn more and register today at the Hike for Hospice. If you just Google it for Fayette County, that'll pop up for you. Circleville Fraternal Order of Eagles will be hosting the once-per-month Boogie on the Blacktop starting May and going through August. The Boogie on the Blacktop features 4 concerts over the summer months. These guys right here, north to Nashville, get it started on May the 20th. Then, I love this name, Cowtown Incorporated will be there on June the 17th. Courtney Joe Band on July the 22nd, and Gypsy Kings, only it's spelled Kyngs, on August the 26th. This event not only provides a great entertainment experience, but also supports nonprofits within the Circleville community through the proceeds that are generated. Staying up in Pickaway County, items from the Logan Elm High School and their respective elementary schools are going to be offered at absolutely online auction. Now, as you know, many of you have been watching this program a number of years. You'll know that they're building a new campus. So once they get into that, all of the elementary and the current high school will be demolished. And some of the schools in our area have done this in the past, like buy a brick or, chalkboard, or some have even bought a gym floor, the wood that comes out of the floor. But you can see there the dates that will go online for preview, and then the actual auction dates for each one of those buildings. Again, that is up in the Logan Elm School District. You can follow this site, or you can go to just give the school a call, and they can give you more information about that. Lancaster Community Days is coming up May the 20th. Cody Clayton Eagle will perform at 6 p.m. on the 20th, followed by Julie Neville at 7:30 that night. Expecting a lot of fun at that event. It's just around the corner, folks. 4-H camp, and the registration for 4-H camp at Cantor's Cave June 5th through 8th is going for those 4-Hers who hail from Pike, Adams, and Lawrence counties. Registration is for members currently in grades 3 through 8. The cost is $165 for 4-H members, $175 for non-members. And you can go to the osu.ed site for any one of those respective counties that we mentioned to get more information. If you didn't know it, you see the orange barrels out and about. The crews are out working. This is National Work Zone Awareness Week. Week is set aside each year to remind drivers of the need to pay extra attention in work zones to keep both themselves and the workers safe. And speaking of ODOT, our daily road report, a resurfacing project in Jackson along East Broadway Street in the city there is currently ongoing. Now, this is getting to the point where it's winding down, but they are still doing the paving on East Broadway Street between State Route 93 and US 35. So if you have business in Apple City, in Jackson, just be patient if you see the orange barrels out. And that is our topics report for the day.
A couple of things coming up we want to remind you about. Spring Speaker Series taking place tomorrow night at the Ross County Heritage Museum. This is General Ulysses S. Grant returning to cover the war years, Fort Donelson through the Chattanooga campaign and promotion to commanding general. So this Dr. Curtis Fields Jr., from what we understand, he is like one of the foremost
Grant experts.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I guess looks like Grant, too. Yeah. I wanted to say impersonator.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it's notorious or He's the best Grant you're going to see. It's not. He's not worth $50, I guess, is one way of thinking. Yeah. A stack of Grants.
Yes.
He's worth a stack of Grants.
Stack of Grants, yeah.
I'm trying to be complimentary here.
Coincidentally.
Not doing well at it either.
Yeah. Coincidentally, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we'll be releasing our Fairfield County Special Edition, which centers around the Fairfield County Historical Society that runs the museums, which includes the Sherman House, where General Sherman was born and lived most of his childhood years. He and U.S. Grant were pretty good buddies in their battling days during the Civil War.
Helped take care of things down south.
Yes, they did.
As they say. Don't forget also this Thursday, it's the Impossible Auction. This is all to benefit the folks at Foothold International, locally based mission group, and it takes place at 6:30 this Thursday. Tickets start at $10 and includes dinner, and it's all out at Creekside Occasions. And we got this information to us yesterday also. The Schmidt's Sausage Truck's making its return Thursday from noon until 7 p.m. Helps our friends of the Tyler Memorial United Methodist Church here in Chillicothe. So if you got a hankering for some sausage, Thursday's your day.
Okay. Seating available inside also.
Yes. All right, coming up in just a moment to look at sports for you. You were talking about 4-H camp. My wife was in 4-H back when she was in elementary school, and there was a picture that she had. I want to say this was at Tar Hollow, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a picture of all the kids that were at the camp. I was finding classmates in there.
How about that?
And I'm like, what? How is it somebody from Pike County who was involved with kids from Pickaway County, and they were lumped together at Tar Hollow, I guess, back in the 70s, I assume that's when it was. And I'm like, I'll be a son of a gun. Some of my classmates met you before I met you.
How about that?
You know?
They tried to warn her, but she wouldn't listen.
Yeah. And I wasn't in 4-H, so I couldn't have been there to see her. So, all right, coming up, we'll look at sports and this date in history. But first, we're going to tell you about Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. Tomorrow, we're going to have a special visit with Jonathan Davis, superintendent of Pickaway Ross. And while he probably won't talk exclusively about adult education, he will talk about many of the things and challenges that they are facing with room and space inside of their building there. Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center, adult education, health technologies like RN, medical assisting, phlebotomy. You want to be a skilled tradesperson with electrical work, HVAC maintenance, or even public safety, firemen, EMTs, EMS, whichever. You'll find all of the details on Pickaway Ross's website. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to where you can learn more about the adult education offerings at Pickaway Ross CTC. Coming up, sports next.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
Time for a look at sports, and we start with high school news.
Yeah, yesterday on this program, we were telling you about the state softball poll that had just come out. Well, later in the afternoon yesterday, it was the high school baseball poll that came out. And in our area, among those that are in the top 10 include in Division II, Unioto is ranked number 5. Washington Courthouse is 10th. Now, you might remember they played each other here a couple of weeks ago, and Unioto won that one. Division III, Fairland is ranked number 8. Ironton is number 9. And in Division IV, White Oak is number 3. Now, there are some other area teams that are outside the top 10 that were ranked, but we went with the top 10 for softball and doing the same in baseball. One big baseball score last night to really draw your attention to was in the SOC. In a battle of conference leaders, Waverly and Wheelersburg played each other, and Wheelersburg wins that one by a score of 2-1 to take over sole possession of first place in the SOC.
Didn't they just play recently also?
They have a weird format in the SOC, and I don't know that they're doing it that way this year, but a couple of years ago, it was like back-to-back days at the opposite site.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that they're doing it quite that way this year.
Of course, follow us on Litter Twitter, and you'll be able to see all of these updates that Mike works so hard to put together for you throughout the evening.
Yeah. We'll be talking about a big softball game in the SVC tomorrow. The Reds.
Oh.
Nope, you want to talk about
sorry.
this. I didn't have that in my notes, but
Yeah.
you're right. New coach at Logan Elm basketball.
Yes, Nate Dropsy, and he has been a part of the staff, and according to what our buddy Brad Morris put together, he was almost like handpicked, it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
He was just next in line. So he's going to have also right-hand man there is going to join them as well.
Jeff
Yes.
Holbert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Used to be the head coach of Westfall.
Correct. But Doug Syverson, of course, as we told you here a couple of weeks ago, stepping down after 24 years. But the keys have been handed over to the young'un coming up, and that's going to keep things going, no doubt. I'm sure it'll look a lot like the same program that Doug built and put together.
Yeah. The Reds, they won last night, and it just so happened the team with the best record in baseball, they whopped them 8-1. Wow, how about that?
This was exciting to watch, and I'm going in ninth inning. You're thinking, okay, this is cool. They're going to shut them out. First, I think the second pitch to the first batter, straightaway center field home run. Dang, so much for the shutout. But they won.
Yeah, they got it.
And this first base coach, I don't remember him from last year, but he is fun to watch too there along first base. When there's a knock or whatever, they get right there to the first base and they collide their helmets. I like that.
Something that they didn't used to do, yeah. Guardians got rained out yesterday, so they're going to make that up. A 110, it says tomorrow, but that's actually today.
Here's the today.
Is it a day-night doubleheader? It
Yes.
doesn't say that on your screen
Yes.
because the camera's blocking me out from the
Yes,
time, so I can't see
it's
that.
110 there, but that's for the first game, and then the other one will be later this evening as regularly scheduled.
Cleveland and the Tigers. They're not all that far apart.
No.
Detroit and Cleveland. But something else is going on in Cleveland tonight, and that is Game 2 of the NBA playoffs. We're not on strike against the Cavaliers.
What happened?
I don't know. I was wondering what happened there. But it's Game 2 of their NBA series with the New York Knicks. The Knicks won the first game over the weekend, so the Cavs will try to draw even tonight in that series.
Pretty sure we had something for the game to put up there, and apparently it didn't make it to the computer.
He's upset with the Cavs, apparently. So
Not at all.
yeah.
Cavs through and through.
So that's sports for today.
Okay. Coming up, this stage in history takes us back to
1906. A whole lot of shaking going on.
And we have a Revolutionary Minute.
That's
for today,
correct.
right?
And it's kind of part 2 from last week. Remember we were talking last week about Paul Revere
being
being a silversmith?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have kind of a part 2 on Paul Revere today.
Okay, so that's just ahead for you. McDonald's tomorrow is going to be another open interview day with their managers from 2 until 5 in Circleville, Greenfield, Waverly, and the 4 locations here in Chillicothe. Your chance to sit down and talk about becoming a McDonald's crew member. And they're paying $15 an hour and up to $20 an hour for managers. So if you want to find out more, click on anywhere you see McDonald's on our website. It takes you right to their hiring page. But also you can stop in and visit with them and tell them that Dan and Mike sent you to McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you've got issues with the comfort in your home, check them out. Click on this ad anywhere at littermedia.com. You'll find out more details about where they can service you, how they can service it, and everything they do. All there at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. This Date in History, next.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
This is Big Chillicothe. Horizon's 100% fiber internet service is coming to your area. Call 740-772-8331 or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
Time for This Date in History.
Yes, on this date in 1906, 5:13 in the morning, West Coast time, an earthquake estimated at close to 8 on the Richter scale strikes San Francisco. Killed an estimated 3,000 people that toppled numerous buildings. Now, the quake was caused by a slip of the San Andreas Fault over a segment of 275 miles in length. The shock waves could be felt from southern Oregon down to Los Angeles. It took 5 days to put out most of the fires, and the United States Army would eventually house 20,000 refugees in more than 20 military-style tent camps across the city. And they came across a video. Now, remember, this is 1906, so video was not the thing at the time. But they came across a video of San Francisco's, it's like somebody's on a trolley car riding down the street. And they are certain that this video was taken the day before that earthquake hit.
Yeah.
And you can, it's like the idea of the subject is, this is what it looked like just before the earthquake the next day.
Calm before the storm, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wonder how it was, technology has advanced, obviously, since 1906, but I wonder how many folks it took to convince it was an earthquake, not an act of God, that kind of thing, Is it possible that this is where the Great Revival movement started on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Had people out there experienced something like this before? I don't know. I haven't looked back on it, but I would have to think they didn't have like the seismic scales and things like that to.
I'm not sure. I know when we talked about the 1812 earthquake at the New Madrid Fault, there was no Richter scale at that time. I'm not sure that it had been even in place in 1906, but being that it's California, I can't help but believe that there were other earthquakes. If there was some in the Midwest, I'm sure there had to have been previous quakes, just not that bad in the city.
Right.
Now, our Revolutionary War Minute, when we give you these, it's just going back 200 years to the Revolution, but this one actually took place on this date as well, so that's unusual for the minute. This guy right here is probably one of the most underrated patriots of the Revolutionary War. Everybody's heard about the British are coming, Paul Revere. Well, he was not the only one that did that. There's another guy, and this is he William Dawes, along with Paul Revere, set out on horseback from Boston to warn Samuel Adams and John Hancock to rouse the Minutemen that the British were marching out of Boston in an effort to try to get to the arsenal at Concord. What would you call him? Just the forgotten man?
Yeah.
Well, William Dawes should be credited just like Paul Revere, although the poem that went with Paul Revere didn't mention William Dawes. But there he is. We're giving him his due, even though it's 200 and some years later.
Quiet Riot.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
1775 by the year.
And we don't know, we have no confirmation whether or not he was related to Steve Dawes or Charlie Dawes.
Charlie Dawes. Yeah. Although we could ask Steve sometime if he can trace that.
We could ask Steve that. Yeah.
So there's your Revolutionary War Bicentennial Minute.
Mm-hmm. There is an effort, a collaborative effort between Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central Ohio and the Paper City Mentoring Group. And we're going to be talking about that about 1 o'clock today. Mm-hmm. Aaron Givens will be here from Paper City, and Aaron Alsop, forgive me. Alsop will be here. I had one of my Sunday school kids' names on my head. But Aaron and Aaron will be here to talk about their agencies and how they're getting together for this event that's going to take place. And we hope that it's something that you will enjoy, but also want to get involved with, because getting involved with the kids is important stuff.
Yeah. Of course, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, this isn't the event that Dan's referring to, but one of their biggies is the Bowl for Kids' Sake. Mm-hmm. And talking about Radio Minute, we had a team at the radio station for many years that bowled.
That we did, yes.
Dan's a professional. He has his own ball. I mean, I've never owned a bowling ball in my life.
My sister gave me a bowling ball for Christmas my freshman year in high school. So went and got those holes drilled into it. Mm-hmm. But it was my association with Pat Highland that helped me get to know a little bit more about bowling. But he also helped re-drill that hole. I didn't know you could do this. You can fill those back in and then re-drill them, because my hand grew from my freshman year to adulthood. And then I am not a professional bowler by any. I am as amateur as they come. But during the senior pro event that we had here, I happened to win a drawing and won a bowling ball. So I've never bought a bowling ball, but I've got two of them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I only use them during Bowl for Kids' Sake, it seems.
I was telling you about when I was out videoing some of the high school tournaments this past year. I've done it a couple years in a row, but this year I noticed that I was seeing more kids throwing the ball without holes in it, and I had never seen that before. That's getting to be a thing.
Well, there's actually holes in that. They just don't use the thumb. What they'll do is they'll put these two fingers into those holes, and then they will hold the ball with both hands, because you have to be able to get the spin on the ball. I'm a straight ball guy. I've never been able to put the spin on it. But these kids today, and some still use the traditional one-hand solo with the flip of the wrist, but some have found it's easier to take that ball, crouch down. I can't get down like that on my knees anymore. Yeah. But you crouch down and you just arc the ball over. It goes out, spins, and finds that pocket where it needs to go to come up with a strike. It's amazing what these kids can do. First person I saw do it locally was Drew Basil. And Pat was his coach at the time, and Pat was trying to talk him out of doing it, and he just stuck with it. Next thing you know, he's all Ohio in not only football and soccer, but in bowling as well.
You know, it took many years for the Ohio High School Athletic Association to bring bowling on. And when they did, it was like, I guess maybe younger people thought, oh, bowling's become a thing. Bowling has been big especially in the Midwest, for decades.
Yeah.
You remember Bowling for Dollars?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every city had a TV show called Bowling for Dollars.
Dick Shore, wasn't it?
At least it was in Columbus, yeah.
Columbus, yeah.
But, we used to. Some of the famous professional bowlers, some of them as seniors on the senior tour, came through our community.
One of our pros was Dick Weber, and had a chance to learn from him. And that would be the day I forgot my bowling ball. So I had to use a house ball.
Oh, boy.
And he's trying to give me some tips and everything. And, I said, Mr. Weber, you have to understand, I don't have my bowling. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know my game sucks, but he said,
nothing's going to help you, Dan.
Precisely. I don't know there's anything we can do to help you. But,
I think the best work that I ever did out at Shawnee was in the pizza restaurant. It was not on the bowling alley.
There at Julia's, yeah. Took care of business there.
Yes, sir.
My wife's uncle, who's no longer with us, Glenn Potter, he was a staple at Shawnee Lanes. And before his wife, Juanita, passed away, he was always seen out there. If it's not changed, he had the highest score for someone over the age of 80. And it was like a 284 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And his daughter put it on a ball cap. So he had a ball cap he would wear. He would be bowling 4 or 5 times a week into his 80s.
Wow.
And even after he was diagnosed with cancer, had his bout with cancer, right back at it again out there bowling. And there's a lot of folks that talked about seeing Glenn come out there. Uncle Glenn.
I bowl so little that I actually injure myself when I bowl, pulling a hamstring.
He injures himself walking up the steps to come to the
I think
loft.
the highest score I ever had was a 186, and I, to this day, don't know how that happened. I think somebody was padding my score.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever hit over 200. Yeah. I don't think, but I think you're right. This was down at the old Weiss Recreation down in Waverly.
Yes.
Our churches had a group gathering, and we went out to bowl. And this was the far lane all the way up against the wall. I think at Weiss they only had 8 lanes, if I'm not mistaken. And for whatever reason, I was able to take this ball, make it skip off the gutter, up off the wall, and come back and hit.
Oh, my gosh.
I had like 7 strikes that night. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And how is this happening? An act of God.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I remember our high school
bowling.
gym class took a field trip to the bowling alley, and Mike McFarland, who they called Mac, he was the boys basketball coach out of Adena for a while, he went. I got a bigger kick out of watching Mac. Mac was a pretty big fella.
Oh, yeah, big hands.
And I'm not kidding you, when he let that ball go, it seemed like it was airborne halfway down the lane before it came down. But, man, he was hurling that thing. So,
Mom and Dad would go bowling every once in a while at Prairie Lanes in Circleville. And then we would also – my brother was big into bowling, Brother Mike. And he would always go – he was in a league, I think, at Circle D. Of course, Pickaway
that burned
County,
down, didn't it?
Yeah. Pickaway County no longer has bowling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Leala Lanes in Courthouse.
Right.
I don't remember the one in Hillsboro.
Highland Lanes.
Highland. Mm-hmm. Did Greenfield have one at one time? I'm thinking they did.
That I can't
Yeah, it was out on the west side of town. I'm almost certain that they did. You mentioned Weiss and Waverly. Circleville was Circle. I don't know what Lancaster, if Lancaster still has a bowling alley or not.
Was it Sunset Bowl? Something like that?
That could be, because it's Sunset Park.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, when the bowling started in the high school level, I started visiting some of these bowling centers. That's how I know some of the names. I wasn't there as a kid or anything like that. But over in Chillicothe would bowl against Zanesville. They would bowl against Wilmington. And a lot of these, each county, it seems, county seat has a bowling alley. And if they're still in operation, and that's where these high school kids would bowl. Like Leala Lanes is the home lanes for Washington Courthouse and for Miami Trace. Shawnee lanes for all of the Ross County kids. And I think Logan Elm, Circleville, this is their home lanes. I think Taze Valley might go up to up on High Street in Columbus. Is that the Woody's Bowling Center?
It used to be. I don't know if it's still there or not.
Or maybe it's Wayne Webb's is what I'm thinking of, where they had the state tournament.
Okay.
I think that might be where Taze Valley calls home, so to speak. So
seemed like Chillicothe used to have 2 bowling alleys, one on 2nd Street.
I think that's right. I think Pat has told me about that before.
But I can't remember the name of it. 20th Century comes to my mind for some reason, but I don't know if that's correct. But it was not as wide an alley as Shawnee. So
yeah, Shawnee, I believe, has 44 lanes, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got a fantastic arcade room. That's where you just can't get baby Amelia away from that. She has fallen in love with the games playing there and everything. And it's not like it used to be. It's skee ball and everything. You get all those tickets. It's all digitized now, and you get a card, and it tells you how many tokens you have on your card.
Luella Kearns was watching the day we were talking about drive-in movie theaters, and I was stumped on one, and she gave me the name of it at church a couple of weeks ago, and I've forgotten
you can't remember what it was.
But I think it was the one down at we were talking about Moonlight. There was the Torch, Fiesta, and the Moonlight, I think. I think that's what she was talking about. But she was telling me where it was, but
before
I can't
it became the Atomic?
But or
was the Atomic?
I'm thinking that there was another one.
Fiesta is out where close to 207 now.
Yeah.
Then you had the Torch.
Torch was south.
Which is now Open Door Church. The one in Waverly was the Atomic, and that is a church now, from what I understand. The one down in Lucasville, I can't remember the name of that. That's where my wife and I started going when Dan Jr. went off to the military, and we rediscovered each other again. We're like, hey, let's – and we would go to Portsmouth down to Sonic, get food, and drive back to Lucasville.
Check your text and see if or the show comments in case Luella's trying to tell me what it was. But I'm pretty sure it had to do with the Moonlight and where it was located. But I can't remember. It was Easter Sunday. I was
thinking about Easter eggs and bunnies
or whatever we were doing on Easter. Yeah, and I couldn't remember what she told me. She stopped me right before I got out and told me where it was, and I can't remember. But I also mentioned the Central Center had one.
You used to have a mind like a steel trap.
I used to have a mind, yeah.
It was amazing.
It's just, I'm just a steel trap now.
Yeah, the one in Central Center, I don't think I ever
I've seen pictures of that. Yeah. It was not in my lifetime. It was before that, where the community market, the empty building is. The screen was over on that side of Central Center, but I don't even remember what they called it.
Whatever happened to the simplicity of days where you could go to the bowling alley, you could go to the roller rink, you could go to watch a drive-in movie. Yeah. These things they're not like it used to be when we were kids.
I know it. Times change.
It does.
Now everybody's sitting around bowling and golfing on this dumb thing.
We can bowl virtually. Yeah. You don't even have to go to the movie theater.
Exactly.
You can pull it up, stream on your TV at home, which might be the same size of a movie theater screen. You know, we talked at one point in time during our radio program about we're going to become two old guys sitting on the front porch someday just talking about stuff, and we've done that.
Here we are.
With a camera, and we've invited you in to enjoy it every day, and we hope you enjoy it. Tell your friends about what we're doing here at Litter Media. We're trying to make a difference in the community, and not only ours, but the community surrounding us, to get the word out about the good things that are going on. And because there's enough places putting all the dirt and grime and junk that you don't really want to know about. We're just trying to share with you good stuff. And I think we've done that.
Hopefully so.
All right. Special edition of our show coming up at 1 o'clock today with Aaron and me. And we'll be back with Mike and some more shows tomorrow right here with another edition of Litter Media Live. Thanks for watching today.